The first real lockdown at my school happened during my junior year. Until then, everyone treated lockdown drills like a joke. That changed when we heard a man scream in the hallway. The principal's voice came over the intercom. "Initiate lockdown procedures immediately. This is not a drill." The classroom went silent. Our teacher locked the door and turned off the lights. About 10 minutes later, we heard running in the hallway. Then a scream. A loud, terrified scream from an adult man. Nobody moved. An hour later, police escorted us outside. The school never explained what happened. Classes resumed a few days later and eventually everyone forgot about it. Or at least tried to. 2 months later, during a routine lockdown drill, something strange happened. 3 knocks hit our classroom door. Then a voice spoke. "Please let me in." Everyone froze. The voice sounded like a man. Calm. Almost desperate. Our teacher didn't respond. A few seconds later, the voice disappeared. When the drill ended, the hallway was empty. Students assumed it was a prank. But then it happened again. And again. Different lockdown drills. Same 3 knocks. Same voice. Always asking to be let inside. Security reviewed camera footage multiple times. According to rumors, nobody was ever standing outside the classrooms. The hallways were empty. By senior year, nearly every student knew about the knocking. Then one teacher accidentally revealed something. The scream we heard during the real lockdown came from a staff member who was running through the same hallway where the knocking was later reported. Nobody ever found out exactly what happened to him. Years later, after the school permanently closed, a retired security guard gave an interview. One sentence stood out. He said, "We never found the source of the knocking. But the creepiest part came from one of my former teachers. She told me the voice outside the classroom always sounded familiar. When I asked familiar to who, she answered immediately. The man who screamed during the first lockdown." Story number 2. Someone was knocking during the drill. By senior year, active shooter drills had become so common at our school that most students barely paid attention anymore. That changed the day we heard someone begging to be let inside our classroom. The problem was, she wasn't even at school. It happened during my last semester of high school. Around noon, the intercom crackled to life. "Teachers, initiate lockdown procedures." Nobody panicked. We had done these drills dozens of times. Our teacher locked the door, covered the window, and turned off the lights. The class gathered in the corner like always. Most of us were just waiting for the drill to end. About 5 minutes passed. Then we heard a knock. Not loud. Just enough to get everyone's attention. The classroom went silent. We all looked toward the door. Then a voice came from the hallway. "Please let me in." It sounded like a teenage girl. Our teacher immediately motioned for everyone to stay quiet. A few students exchanged nervous looks. The voice spoke again. "Please open the door." At first, I assumed it was part of the drill. Then the voice said something strange. It called our teacher by name. Every student in the room froze. Nobody was supposed to be in the hallway during a lockdown. Especially not students. The knocking continued. 3 slow knocks. Then silence. A few seconds later, my friend Tyler whispered something. "I think that's Emma." Several students immediately agreed. The voice sounded exactly like Emma. Emma was one of the most recognizable girls in our grade. Everyone knew her voice. The problem was Emma wasn't supposed to be there. Earlier that morning, our teacher told us she was absent with the flu. The lockdown continued for another 10 minutes. No more knocking. No more voice. Eventually the drill ended. As soon as the lights came back on, everyone started talking at once. Most students agreed it sounded exactly like Emma. Our teacher looked disturbed but didn't say much. Later that day, several students texted Emma. She replied almost immediately. She had been home the entire day. In fact, she sent a photo of herself lying on the couch watching TV. There was no way she had been at school. The next day, the story spread through the building. Some students believed someone had been imitating her. Others thought we were all imagining things. Then security reviewed the hallway footage. According to one teacher, the camera showed something impossible. There was nobody outside our classroom during the entire drill. Nobody. Not a single person. The hallway remained completely empty. After that, nobody really knew what to think. Weeks later, another lockdown drill happened. This time everyone listened carefully. Nothing happened. No knocking. No voice. It seemed like the mystery was over. Until Emma transferred schools later that year. A few days before leaving, she told a small group of us something she'd never mentioned before. On the day of the lockdown, she had been asleep at home. She said she woke up suddenly around the exact time the drill started. And she had a strange dream. In the dream, she was standing in a dark school hallway. She remembered walking from classroom to classroom, knocking on doors, asking people to let her inside. When she told us that, nobody laughed. Because every single person sitting there knew exactly what we had heard that day. And none of us have ever been able to explain it.